Well, it's showtime. Craft showtime, that is.
You know that I'm the queen of overthinking. It's like we're done before we even started. So if this is the end now, baby, know that I gave it my all. I believe in us, I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you believe in us, please don't give up on me. At least give me a try. 'Cause you're the best thing, the best thing. You're the
So this week I am still recovering from COVID. I've tested negative the past 2 times, so all is good. But I am taking it easy this week. So this week I did all 3 of my training runs on the treadmill. My 2:45 minutes I'll put up here, and my 6-miler I'll put up here. But this week, because I am taking it easy, I'm concentrating on cross training. So this week I'm going to show you some of the things that I do other than running. And one thing that I don't do very often is stretching and yoga. So I am turning to an expert. I'm here at the Spokane Club, and Cindy Donahue works here. And for years, she has tried to get me into her yoga studio. Well, today's the day.
So the first thing in yoga is no socks.
Oh.
And the other thing is you need toys. So the toys we're gonna have are a strap or belt.
Naked feet and toys.
So we're just gonna use the strap, and we're also gonna use 1 tennis ball.
Okay.
If you don't have a tennis ball, a can of soup works as well. And obviously for a runner, one of the most important things you have are your feet.
Correct.
And so we're gonna start with our feet. So if you think about standing nice and stable,
Okay.
so you don't want your feet to turn in, and we're gonna just push the tennis ball right on the ball of our foot. So we're just gonna take it under one foot
Oh, this one.
and just push, release. So see how your right foot's turned out? So you just wanna stand nice and stable, yep? Push and release.
Oh, push and release.
So you're just gonna push and release a few times. And then after you're done with that area, you can roll through the arch of your foot.
Well, that feels good because I have plantar fasciitis.
If you have plantar fasciitis, that's where you really gotta concentrate, is that kind of back toward the heel area.
Okay.
And then we would do the same thing with the other foot. So now we're just gonna lay down. You get one, I get one, so you want. So we're just gonna lay all the way down, bend our knees with our feet flat, and relax. Okay. So one of the things, 2 things that runners usually have. One is tight hamstrings, the back of your legs.
Yes.
And the other is tight and weak outer hips.
Right.
So those are the 2 things we're gonna talk about today.
Okay.
So you're just gonna take that strap around the ball of your foot, so not in the middle, because you want your toes to come towards you, so around the ball, we're just gonna push out. And you just want it to be straight. And this is not a contest, so relax your shoulders.
It's good because I would lose.
And see how your knees bent a little? So just like lean it down a little. So just easing into your stretch. You wanna breathe out. Lots of big, heavy exhales. And depending on your low back, you might straighten out your right leg as well. So if you can, both legs all the way straight. There you go. Okay. So this is stretching from all the way through your back of your leg and your calf. Do you feel it in your calf?
Yeah, I feel it right here.
Yeah, because that's what runners have. You can point and flex the foot, stretching through, because you can sometimes also get shin splints. So when you point, you can feel it stretching the front of the shin.
Yep.
Lower it down a little bit, and then take it carefully out to stretch the inner leg, but just don't go too far. And keep your opposite shoulder on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah. So you're kind of anchoring through one side and just letting that open. And now you're thinking about your inhales. You stretch through that inner thigh. Breathing. So yoga is not about pushing too hard. It's not about being perfect or being a pretzel. It's about feeling good. And then you can take it back up, and then we're going to lower it down about halfway, so about 45-degree angle. And this is where we're going to stretch that outer IT band.
Okay.
So everything's going to stay on the floor, shoulders and your hips, and you're just going to take that leg across your body the other way. And it should feel like the stretch is coming out of your lower hip. And then you just bring it back up and take a breath. Good. So we're going to stretch our outer hips some more. Okay. So we're going to take our ankle across the knee. So if you push your knee out and in a little bit, you can feel it's already going to stretch up. Take a breath, because we're not stressing. And we're going to grab that strap and pull the legs towards you just till you feel the stretch in this outer glute. So now you're in your glute back here. Good. So let your right ankle relax. So just trying to relax your shoulders and nice deep inhales and exhales. So tight glutes, tight IT band, tight hamstrings, right? So we're just gonna do one more big stretch. We're gonna roll over on our bellies. So if you take your hands under your chin, I can feel there's that arch in your low back here. So a lot of times runners often have that. They have this kind of pelvic tilt the other way. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your glutes and you're gonna push them down to the floor. So it's gonna look like my tailbone's pushing down to the floor.
Okay.
Like your rib cage and your belly are pushing down into the floor. It's kind of the same feeling as a plank. So if you take your elbows underneath and either tuck the tail and then rise up here or here. If I don't tuck my tail, it looks like this. See my low back?
Okay.
We don't want that. So you're gonna tuck forward, pull the belly in, the ribs in. So same idea. So that's your transverse abdominis. So that's the part of your core. It's not your abs.
You need to talk quicker.
So it's not your six pack.
Oh my gosh.
But that's important to protect your spine. So
Okay.
knees back down.
Oh my goodness.
Elbows come back in. And we're gonna go to child's pose. So hands forward, elbows down, head down. You're just gonna breathe out. So now in child's pose, we're stretching the low back here. And you wanna make sure your neck is relaxed. You could take your fists under your forehead if your head doesn't go all the way down. If you don't wanna have your arms forward because your shoulders, you can relax them here. And we're gonna stretch our hands forward again. You're gonna spread your fingers wide, and we're gonna come up to our knees and curl our toes. Okay, before we go, again, not perfection, we're coming to down dog. So a lot of people have tight hamstrings. You don't wanna go too far too fast.
Okay.
So you don't wanna have your shoulders over your hands, you wanna have them back. There you go. And then we're gonna curl our toes, we're gonna lift up our knees, and then just maybe look at your toes, nod your head so you relax your neck, and see if you can push one heel almost down a little, breathe out, feel it. Should be the back of your leg, and then do the other one. This is called walking your dog. So you can just take a breath each one, you should feel it in your calf and the back of your legs. Just let both heels hang down, take a couple more breaths. So now you're in downward dog. And you can just take your knees back down. Good, and then just walk back up. So if you just did those, I don't know how many minutes that is, but if you just did those things, exactly what we did. So using a tennis ball or can of soup to work on your foot, using a belt or strap to stretch the back of your leg, inner thigh, outer hip, and then taking the ankle across for that outer glute. And then rolling over and doing your plank.
That hurts.
But it's important.
I know.
And it also will help with balance. And then down, coming to child's pose, it's nice to stretch the back of the neck and relax, and then down dog stretches the back of the legs. If you just did that much every other day, then it would just give you a little bit of balance for running.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm glad I got you to do yoga finally.
I know. It's been like 5 years.
No, it's been like 10 years.
Okay, I lied. Excuse the aprons. It's that week. As runners, most of us have pretty strong leg muscles. But if you're like me, upper body strength, not so much. That's why I invested in a set of Bowflex. And I chose this over free weights because easily you can change to different weights. They're very compact, they're very easy to use, and it's so much better than having a bunch of different handheld weights of varieties and sizes. Now that doesn't mean I don't have those. I do have a set of 1 pound, 3 pound, and 5 pound handheld weights. I keep those upstairs so that while I'm being inactive watching TV, I can continue to do some arm curls. I can lay over the edge and do some work on my underarms. It helps make me feel a little less guilty while I'm sitting there watching TV. Strength training really is beneficial to runners. It helps build muscle strength, muscular endurance, and it helps reduce the risk of injury. Now, I try to do strength training with these weights 3 times a week, but let's be real, it's more like 1 or 2 times a week. I just have a hard time getting myself motivated to lift weights. I even invested in a weight bench in the hopes that it would get me more motivated to work out with my weights. Well, hope springs eternal. So let's stop procrastinating and let's get to it. Weighted squats are great. I actually do regular squats. I try to do 100 of them every day while I'm doing my hair, blow drying and such. But when you add weights to it, Just makes it feel the burn. All right, coming through with my lunges. Oh, my form is not as good as it should be, and my balance. Oh, I know. This is not very heavy, but I'm a wimp. And I know myself, if I do it heavier and hurt myself, I'm never gonna do it again. So here's what I try to do. Oh, gonna get down here. I will do a set of these, I don't know, underarm curls. Is that what these are called? I love this stretch. Not so much love going up like this, but this just feels good. I just really like this a lot. I do some of these. I also do one where these are together and then, oh my good golly goodness, that's tough. Then, once I get myself up here, I will do some curls like this. I also do one arm curls where I actually kind of do this, and sometimes I'll actually add a little extra weight for these because these are pretty easy. Yeah, we need more weight for this. And then I will get my feet locked in here. I'll do some more of these here. And then I usually end with some going up like this. I don't know what any of these poses or whatever are called, but I do know that once I am down here working, I will spend at least 15, 20 minutes doing the lunges, squats, and then trying to work on my arms because I have flabby arms. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get rid of them. I don't know. But I do love my Bowflex, and I do love sitting upstairs watching TV, working, because it, like I said, makes me feel not so guilty. Swimming is a great cross-training exercise. I try to do it as often as I can, especially if I'm staying in a hotel that has a pool and a jacuzzi. I always try to make it to the pool to do some exercises. It's great cardiovascular. It works different muscles than we do when we're running, but unlike running, there is no stress on your bones. So let's get rid of these glasses and hit the water. And lastly, let's talk about the bike. One of my favorite Black Friday purchases last year was my Schwinn indoor exercise cycle. You know, cycling works the major muscle groups in your legs, just like running, and it works your cardiovascular system to keep you fit. But it does all of that without the pounding that running does for you. Cycling gives you the benefits of both fitness and recovery. I try to do a cycle workout 2 to 3 times a week. Depending on the program I'm using, I can do a half-hour program and get between 8.2 and 8.5 miles in. I love it. So these last 2 weeks, thank you, have been fairly easy as I've been recovering from COVID, but that ends next week. We have 2 45-minute training runs, an 8.5-mile walk on Saturday, and holy bejubies, 20 miles on Sunday. If the video's late, I apologize in advance.